Hello there, welcome to Food with Ben. This channel is all about looking at recipes and trying them out. A lot of times we look about 4 or 5 recipes and I'm going to give you my insights about those recipes and trying to make an amalgamation of them or follow one of them. So the first thing I wanted to make was scallion pancakes. I used to eat these once in a while growing up, but most of the time they were frozen. So I thought, why not make these fresh? And the recipes I made amalgamation from were from Marion's Kitchen, Bon Appetit, Munchies, and Serious Eats, and they're all very similar, so they're really easy to make an amalgamation. I'll have those linked down below. So let's talk about the main part of this, scallions. Scallions and green onions are actually the same thing. So when you go to a supermarket, buy the green onions. Scallions are just a younger versions of green onions. So fun rumor is that Marco Polo apparently loved this and tried to get his friends to make it from Naples, but historical evidence don't really support that. But I want to give you guys a fun fact about this dish before we moved on and I talk about the ingredients. So here's all the ingredients for this dish. I'll also have this listed down in the description. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of fat, sesame oil, 1 cup of hot water, some scallions or green onions, 1 teaspoon of salt. For the sauce, you need soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, garlic, ginger, scallions, sesame oil, sugar, and if you like, some chili paste. So let's make the dough. You need 2 cups of flour, about 1 cup of hot water, and you need about a tablespoon of sesame oil. You want to mix it together. It might not seem like enough, but it will be, because as you knead it, the dough will stop clinging to your fingers and it will start forming a dough. You need to knead this about 5 to 10 minutes until it looks something like this. So now the dough needs to rest for about an hour, and during that time you can prep everything else. So one of my biggest recommendations for you to do is go ahead and chop up 2 cups of green onions, and then you want to make the sauce. So the sauce, you need about 1 inch of ginger, and you go ahead and peel that with a spoon and grate it into there. And you also need to grate in 1 clove of garlic, but if you don't feel like grating those two, you can just chop them up finely and throw them in. Along with that, you also need a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, and you can put more if you want, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, and mix until everything is dissolved. When you're ready, put in that teaspoon of sesame oil and green onions, and you can always make this earlier and let the flavors develop. So you know your dough's ready when you have this nice touch to it and it squishes down. You want to cut it into 4 equal parts, or you want to cut it into 8 equal parts depending on how big you want the pancakes. The parts you aren't using, just put it in a bowl and saran wrap it and leave it until you're ready to use them. Now, the recipes will tell you to either use oil or flour. I prefer using oil. I found it was easier just to roll it out with oil. So when you're rolling it out, you want to get about 1/4 thickness, or however thick you want it to be. Once you get it to that layer, you want it to add in your fat. My fat this time around was vegetable oil mixed in with some sesame oil. And then I sprinkled on the green onions. Try to distribute it evenly as possible, but don't worry about it too much because there's another step to this. So the next step is to roll it up like a log or fruit roll up, and then curl it around until it looks like a cinnamon roll. And Munchie and Serious Eats does a really good job explaining this. The reason why you do this, it creates the flakiness that you want from scallion pancakes, but also distributes the green onions. Earlier ago, I was talking about the fat that you use, and this is where a lot of the recipes will differ. Bon Appetit uses chicken fat. Munchie's video, he explains that he uses lard. It doesn't really matter, but the more flavorful the fat, the better. So I recommend using butter because that's what most people have. So once you have that butter, I would use that, and don't be afraid to use butter when you're frying it off. I tried that out my second time and it tasted fantastic. So once you're done rolling up your last scallion pancakes and making it a nice little swirly, let it rest. I know, it seems like it's taking forever, but it's okay. Cover it and walk away. It'll be your best decision. Just let it rest for about 30 minutes to an hour. And once that's over, well, let's just start rolling these out and enjoy them. They shouldn't take too long to roll out. Just pat them down and roll. Don't forget to rotate once in a while because that'll help with it. Once you're done rolling it out, my next recommendation is have parchment paper laid out so that you can put it on top and you can layer them without them sticking with each other. It makes it a lot easier to cook, and it's really helpful overall. So now we're ready to fry. Add about 2 tablespoons of oil. If you want some extra flavor, add in butter. And you want to set your temperature about medium to medium high. We're going to be frying this for about 5 to 10 minutes on each side and flipping it every 2 to 3 minutes once it's ready to start flipping. The parchment comes in really handy here because it just allows you to plop it and peel it. So you're ready to flip your first time when you notice this nice golden color overall. It means that your pancake has been absorbing the oil. It's a couple of these recipes do say to flip it multiple times, and the reason behind that is it allows you to have a more even distribution of the oil and even cooking overall. If you want to learn more about this, you should listen to Jay Kinsley from Serious Heats. He does a really great explanation of flipping it multiple times about steak and other stuff like that. When you don't flip it, you end up with this result that kind of looks like a paler side, and I'll show you with my second scallion pancake made for that night. So notice this one is a lot more paler on this side, and this is because I only flipped this scallion pancake once every 8 minutes when I noticed that it was good to go. So if you're like me, I didn't eat all of this. That's too much food for me. This is where the parchment comes in really handy again, because you can just stack them up and put them in Ziploc lock to freeze for a month or so, or put in the fridge for a couple days until you're ready to fry them again. But no more than a couple days. Now let's talk about these. Scallion pancakes are delicious. They're flaky. They're supposed to be flaky and great. The sauce itself was okay. I would add a little bit more sugar, but I was hungry that night, so let me enjoy this meal and hope you have a wonderful time. Bye, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment recipes I should try, and subscribe if you like what you saw. You can also follow me on Instagram at foodwbin.